بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم كلا إن الإنسان ليطغى أن رآه استغنى إن إلى ربك الرجعى أرأيت الذي ينهى عبدا إذا صلى أرأيت إن كان على الهدى أو أمر بالتقوى أرأيت إن كذب وتولى ألم يعلم بأن الله يرى كلا لئن لم ينته لنسفعا بالناصية ناصية كاذبة خاطئة فليدع ناديه سندع الزبانية كلا لا تطعه واسجد واقترب.
The ayah was كلا لا تطعه واسجد واقترب. I get the goosebumps. No, do not obey him, prostrate and come closer. I was like, La ilaha illallah. Why is this ayah playing in my mind? I don't know. But you know what? I'm praying Jum'ah today. I'm praying Jum'ah, wallahi, I'm praying Jum'ah. At any cost, I'm praying Jum'ah. Khalas, this was to me the istikhara, the answer from Allah. I go to work this morning. Now, mind you, now I'm at that stage, okay, I'm already starting to run the body shop. Because it was quickly, he made me go through the stages in a quick way just to be in the mudir. He doesn't want to put me the mudir right away. So because it was a Jewish guy who would trip, of course. Why is this guy the mudir? Because he's your relative. طيب. I go now, the body shop, I'm sorry, the storage lot opens its door for customers around 7:30, 8 in the morning. The mechanic shop opens the earliest because people have to fix their car before they go to work. But because I live with him, we go in the same car, so I would go with him. He will open the mechanic shop. I would go to our storage lot just to sit there, to turn on the AC, turn on the computer, make the coffee, get things ready. We're not yet ready for customers because we open later. He is doing his thing in the mechanic shop. I'm doing my thing in the storage lot. Now, I have a brother who has asthma, okay? And he had just entered the hospital in Lebanon because of that asthma. And there's something there called calling card, okay? You buy it for like $10, and then you call a toll-free number, 800 number, then you put in the number. Basically, when you use the phone, it doesn't charge the phone anything. Because 800 number is free, and you're using the credit on your mobile, if you want to call it. I'm sitting there in the office. I said, let me call my mom and check on my brother. I call my mom through the calling card. I'm speaking to her and this and that. While I'm on the phone, our line, the storage starts blinking. Someone is calling. And am I supposed to answer or not? Not. It's not yet working hours. I'm there early. I'm not supposed to answer customers. We're not supposed to release cars until a particular time. I said, whatever. Khalli. He's sitting in his office watching the phone ringing and no one answered in the phone. He sends the Jewish guy, say, go see what this guy is doing. Why doesn't he answer the phone? He went, he saw me on the phone. He went back, said he's speaking on the phone. The phone rang again. When it started ringing, I said, Mom, it seems that there's something urgent. Someone keeps calling. Let me call you back later. I'm going to answer the phone right now. The second line, there's a second line. As soon as I'm saying this, okay, assalamu alaikum, I'm about to hang up the phone, he walks in. He says, what are you doing? I said, I'm speaking on the phone. He said, and why didn't you pick up the line? I said, I was with my mom on the phone because my brother's in the hospital, checking on him. He said, I don't care for you or your brother or your mother, hospital, no hospital, this is business. And as soon as he said these words, my mind shut down. He said, Aywa, now you don't care about my brother in the hospital, you money worshiper? Now he's double my size. I try to beat him. Alhamdulillah, that wasn't successful. I went, tiny little guy, put my face next to his. We're ready to swing. We're ready to swing. Alhamdulillah, that didn't happen. I would have been knocked out. And the Jewish guy came and calmed us down and moved, and ma fi mishkila. I said, no way I'm going to be able to work with this guy anymore. And he said, no way you're going to even spend the night in our house. You go back to Los Angeles tonight. And he took a couple of hours. He didn't speak to me. We were, both upset. And he took me back to the house. When he went into the house, I went with him. He started fighting with my aunt. This nephew of yours is a bastard. How could you bring this guy again into our lives? They almost got divorced because of me again. Before it was because of my craziness. Now it's because I want to pray Jumu'ah. He said, Wallahi, he will not sleep in our house tonight, and this guy will book him the next ticket back to Los Angeles. I don't want to see his face ever again. Blah, blah, blah. I'm having a nervous breakdown. My mind shut down. I don't even remember Salah. I'm sitting there like, what happened? What happened? My atheist aunt, doesn't even believe in Allah and His Messenger, said, didn't you do all this problem because you wanted to pray Jumu'ah? Said, yes. Said, so take the car and go pray Jumu'ah, because you're leaving anyways. I said, oh yeah, I had forgotten about Jumu'ah. All this is for Jumu'ah, and I had forgotten about Jumu'ah because of the nature of the confrontation. So my aunt, the atheist, gave me her Grand Cherokee. I remember the car. And I drove to the masjid. I couldn't believe I was sitting in the masjid, looking at the khatib. It was the third Jumu'ah, but I'm in the masjid. Anyways, I said, this is fath from Allah. And sure, I don't think they found a booking for the same night. The next day, I flew back to Los Angeles. Now, I go back, I call my mom, say, Mom, here's what happened, and this and that. My mom became upset with me. I said, but abshiri, it's going to be good, inshallah. What happened was from Allah. The istikhara was from Allah. This ayah was from Allah. Don't worry. I go back over there. I call Hisham. And Hisham now, he's missed me. And he wants to, reconcile. He says, come back and I will increase you $1. Please don't. I will increase you $1 in the salary. I said, okay. I call my uncle. Say, listen, I'm back. Not that they were but now, they weren't as sad as before, because they know that, I have had some change. He said, my son, his name is Jonathan, he has a Toyota Celica, 1984. I remember it. I'm about to sell it. Do you want it? I said, of course I want it. He said, you can take it, give me the payment whenever you have money. The guy whom I was living with, the guy who accused me of robbery, and I wound up leaving him living in the bus, the whole time he was trying to find someone to live with him, he couldn't. So when I came back and called him, I said, so what? Is there still place? He said, look, come back. There's no way, because he's paying $800 out of his pocket because he can't find someone to rent the room. So in one day, I got my old job back with more money, and I have a car, which I wasn't expecting, and I have a place to live. I said, this is it. I called my mom and said, Alhamdulillah, everything is getting good. And really things started getting good from that moment on. Quickly now, okay, I'm back in Los Angeles, but now I'm a different person. I'm a changed person. I go to the masjid, I frequent the masjid and everything. During this time, now I will tell you later. During this time, I had stopped speaking to women completely, which I advise every young man to do, and every young lady to do. Don't talk and communicate with the other gender, because it will open doors that you want to keep closed. And there's so much you can control when the shaitan is there the whole time. Things may begin a certain way and have a huge turn. So leave that communication. That will save you a lot of headache, trust me. I'm at that stage now. Okay, I'm back with Hisham. I'm going to the masjid all the time. I love the masjid. We're having, alhamdulillah, everything is good. Learn tajweed, idgham and iqlab and ikhfa and idhar and qalqala, things which I'd never known before, alhamdulillah. And basically this group of people moved to a business next to ours. Among them are some ladies. One of these ladies would frequent our office because Hisham was the one who showed them the place. He actually the one who brought them to this building. He hooked them up with the owner and everything, the landlord. And he had sold them insurance from before, so they had good relationship. So when this lady, these ladies started frequenting, I'm Mr., don't talk to me now. Okay? Ladies, shh, out. I erase all the numbers from my phone, nothing. Khalas, me and the female gender are at war. It's difficult over there, but that's what I had to do. So anyways, this lady kept asking for advice because she had come from another country and her legal situation was very similar to mine. And she kept asking for advice, and I'm like, I'm all frowning, say, look, I don't talk to ladies, and really I don't have any advice to give you either. I know one thing though. My life was busted until I started practicing Islam, and then that solved my problems. If you want, that's the only thing I can offer you as advice. Don't ask for anything else. She said, okay, sure. I said, okay, good. So I start telling her about Islam. Mind you, wallahi, I don't know what the word aqidah means. If you say aqidah, I'll say, what is aqidah? Zero. Only memorize these few surahs and tajweed only. But I would, sit there and use the actual fitrah. How could Allah have a son? She was a Christian, Catholic Christian. No way Allah has a son. Allah doesn't have any children. Just basic stuff. And I started telling the people in the masjid, the brothers, I'm giving da'wah to this, one lady and everything. So they start giving me material. Take this CD, give her this DVD, give her this book, and I would just get, here. So I didn't think anything would happen, and one day she says, I want to become a Muslim. I was like, oh, this is serious. She wants to embrace Islam. We speak to the Brother Mundir, who was the one who taught us tajweed, said, look, the lady wants to embrace Islam. He said, bring her. I remember he has a Suburban, GMC. We go sit in the car. She's sitting in the back, I'm sitting next to him. And he tells her the story of Ibrahim. With, Hadha Rabbi, with the Qamar and the Shams and whatever. And he gives her a nice little story, and then he makes her declare the Shahada. She repeats the Shahada after him, and the lady is a Muslimah now. Alhamdulillah. And so, things are getting, we're happy. There's something happening. Now we need to find her a lady who can teach her wudu and salah, because a man cannot do that. You can give her a book and DVD, but you can't be teaching her salah. Make sure, brother, you don't try to find, a non-Muslim say, let me show you how to make wudu. Do you see that? It doesn't work this way. Okay, because the shaitan is going to take you to something other than wudu. Anywho, so let's find a lady, some sister who, is nice sister at the masjid. We couldn't find anyone. Couldn't find a sister who could speak English and educate this young lady about salah. So, I'm sitting with the brothers after Fajr, and one of the brothers says, so how is the new Muslim? I said, she's all right. Said, have you found someone to teach her? Said, no. He said, why don't you marry her? I was like, what? Marry? The last thing on my mind was marriage. I'm barely getting back on my feet, okay? I'm living in an apartment, in a bedroom, in someone's apartment, not even mine, not even my name. No fulus to get married, really. I barely still paying my debt. The last thing on my mind is marriage, the last thing. But the idea just registered, So that's worth considering, And because that was initially there. So I called her and said, listen, I got something very important to talk to you about. I said, okay. And so I'm thinking now, of course, how foolish I am. I'm thinking like back in the Jahiliyyah, slick and everything, smooth operator, it's going to be smooth. So I said, listen, lady, I think we should get married. She's like, what? I'm like, what? How could you, come on. She's like, get out of here. And I thought that, I'm thinking, yeah, she probably likes me and everything. And turned out that lady has no idea what I'm talking about. And she was really sincere. I'm like, and so it was a major, shock for me. Disappointment, you could say. But I was a stubborn one. So anyway, she rejected, so forget about this. It's not about me, marriage is not on the list of things that we can consider. But then I kept insisting, and every time I would, talk to her, I'd give her maw'idah. This dunya is not important, and what is important is the life to come. Eventually, somehow, Allah, convinced her that, this is something that can be done. Now, her parents are Catholic Christians, and the situation is not very good. She embraced Islam, and she's finally said yes. I called my parents, said, I'm getting married. They're like, what? But they were so happy that I've changed, and things are getting good. The last thing they want to do was kind of, disappoint me. Otherwise, your parents want to be there for your marriage. And they're all the way there. My father said, Yilli bi'ujbak baba. Whatever makes you happy, go ahead and do it. I said, okay, fantastic. So we go, and we speak to Mundir, we're going to have the marriage contract. I don't have any money. No dowry, no nothing. I remember I went to the supermarket, got some Oreo cookies, some Pepsi, and some milk. And we went to Mundir's house. He brought the brothers, made some tea and some cake. And she came, and the Egyptian brothers, there were a bunch of Egyptians who were soldiers who would come to the States to have a course. And they came for the marriage, and the dowry was, I teach her whatever I know of the Quran. Alhamdulillah. Just to show you the mercy of Allah. Now you would think this would never happen. This happened. And it could happen to you, and better than that. So I get married, and I don't have any means to get married. Nothing to offer. I moved jobs another time to work at a furniture store. With Hisham, another Hisham al-Barbari. That was Hisham al-Zain, that's Hisham al-Barbari. Regency, furniture. We rent a small apartment. It was so small that the bed used to be in the wall. It's one room, studio. The bathroom and the kitchen and the room are all one room, and the actual bed will be in the wall. You open the closet and the bed will fall down. And when you want to wake up, you put the bed back because there's no room. Very tiny place. During this time, I'm going to Jumu'ah in Masjid Resida, and after Salah, we're standing outside after Jumu'ah. One brother is walking by giving out flyers. He stops, he looks at me, he's like, Joe? My name was Joe, by the way. Sorry. Every Muhammad there is Mo. You want more, man? No, I don't want any more. The people have the tendency to be ashamed of their Muslim names. So Muhammad is Mo, and Jihad is Joe, and the list goes on. Wajdi Joe. There was some relation with the J sound. So I'm Joe. He said, I know you. I said, where do you know me from? Where does he know me from? During the Buddhist times, with the Buddhist rappers, one time we were in the temple, the Buddhist temple, writing a song about peace, promoting peace, because there were all these events in the terrorism. And I was one of the rappers. Now, the Buddhist temple had invited representatives from Christianity, from Islam, from different religions to have a conference where every speaker will speak about how their religion is pro-peace. And that brother was the one who was supposed to represent the Muslims. His name is Khalid. And when he was hanging out with the people, he saw that I was among the rappers sitting there writing a song. And he started talking to me. He said, you're an Arab? I said, yeah, I'm Lebanese. He said, what in the world are you doing here? What are you doing with Buddhists writing rap songs? I said, I'm a Buddhist. And I'm a rapper. What's the big deal? And he thought there was something odd. So now, some years later, he sees me where? In the masjid. Outside the masjid. He said, you, what are you doing here? I said, what do you mean? He said, didn't I not meet you before? And with the Buddhists? I was like, oh, shh. Be quiet, man. Give me the flyer. I'll tell you the story later. I'll tell you later. Don't burn me out in front of the people. Nobody knows. He's like, I got it, give me your number. We exchanged numbers. I'm supposed to tell him the story. I promised him. He went his own way. He would call me often. Every other week, say, can we meet now? I want to hear your story. I said, look, man, I'm busy. One time he calls me, says, look, now you have to come. I said, why? It was late at night. He said, a relative of mine who's a student of knowledge in Medina University has come. And I really want you to meet him. And he's in Saudi Arabia. Now, during that time, my mom and dad had divorced in Lebanon. And my mother came to Saudi here, okay? And she was working for a princess, okay? That was her situation. I said, good. I get to find out what Saudi's like, what my mother would be going through. And it may be benefiting meeting this guy. I go and meet this guy, his name is Ahmed, Habibi Ahmed. The nicest beard you will ever see in your life. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Multicolor. Big beard, like maybe 7 different colors. It's amazing, amazing person. Anyways, you look scary to me in the beginning because I used to shave here and I only had a little bit, trying to grow some beard. Anyways, I told him my story and he was like blown out. He's like, what the heck is this? This is pretty crazy, man. I said, yeah, so that's what it is. He said, look, I'll strike a deal with you. Because he would go spend the time in the States during the summer vacation when they finished their school. He said every morning, because I was attached to the masjid, he said, you pick me up with your car. He doesn't have a car. You pick me up with your car, I go pray with you the salawat, and then we'll get to know each other. I said, okay, that sounds good. Every day I would pick him up for Fajr, even Fajr, way early in the morning, drive all the way there up the hill. They lived in a big castle in the mountain. Their relatives were pretty rich. And I would pick him up, we spend time in the masjid. Now, I'm Sufi, without really wanting to be Sufi, but everything I do is like Sufi based, more or less. So I remember I'm sitting with him in the masjid, and he says to me, read the Quran. And I said, okay. I start reading. He said, why you rocking back and forth? I said, why not? He said, this is like the Jews, man. The Jews do this in front of the wall, or something, or the Sufis. I said, okay, man. It's difficult to read the Quran without rocking back and forth. I mean, I've been doing it all. I've been doing the adhkar with rocking back and forth, let alone the Quran. So I finished recitation, Sadaqallahu al-Azim. He said, what is that? I said, what? He said, Akhi, what is Sadaqallahu al-Azim? I said, whoa, come on. Rocking? No. Now this one? Everybody does it, ya Akhi. Abdul Basit, I started naming all the Qurra which I've heard. Everybody does it. All of these people are lost. And I'm thinking this guy is nuts, man. He said, I'm telling you, did the Messenger of Allah do it? I said, I don't know whether he did it or not, but I'm sure there's a reason for it. He said, if you don't know why, you can't do it. You have to have an evidence. His guy started giving, he's like, what is this, man? Everything I'm doing is wrong to this guy. Everything I do, he says, wrong, but he's nice. He's wise. He's not really burning me out. He's slick, very slick, mashallah. He started giving me books. He gave me this one book about Sufism and different things. He saw the orientation I had, the people I was hanging out with. Anyways, at some point in time, he mentioned something about Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab. And I was like, I've heard that name before. Let me go look it up online. Go look it up online, and we have the Wahhabis. I said, Ayywa, I'm going to go back in the days. This guy's trying to lead me astray. It's a Wahhabi. I go to the Imam of Masjid Reseda, who's an Ash'ari, Mu'tazili, Sufi. The guy is the furthest you can be from the right Aqidah and Manhaj. I tell him, this guy, man, he gave me some stuff about Muhammad al-Wahhab. He said, Muhammad al-Wahhab, good. Go with the guy. I said, that's the most knowledgeable person. That's the Imam of the Masjid. He gave me the go signal. I'm with it.